We all know Doom, classic first-person shooter considered the father of the genre, where Wolfenstein 3D is the grandfather. But by the time after Doom 2's release, it appears the genre was ready to move on. When other first-person shooters took us to a galaxy far, far away, urban streets infected with aliens, and even Lovecraftian-inspired locations, critics seemed a little tired of traversing through hell again. Nevertheless, id Software did not want to give up on Doom just yet. Minus ports of the PC originals on the PlayStation, it teamed up with Midway to bring an original Doom game. Oddly enough, not for PC until years later, but for the Nintendo 64, with remasters coming from its current owners at Bethesda and Night Dive Studios, 23 years after its original release in 1997 and to coincide with Doom Eternal. How does the game hold? Let's find out. Given this is Doom, you don't really need any knowledge on the story other than it gives you an excuse to blast demons back to whence they came. Though if you are curious, the Doom Marine returns to the UAC base, and there, demons once dead are coming back to life from the evil Mother Demon, and having lived through the trauma of Hell's demonics attacking, and even going through Hell itself, the UAC trusts the Marine to use his expertise to put a stop to this attack, once and for all. Simple, but it works. Now getting to the gameplay, it's the familiar game you've come to know and love, from blasting demons to traversing a maze from point A to point B and occasionally point C should you persist. Every weapon that had come from Doom 1 and Doom 2 are all here, but have all been redesigned. Like the pistol no longer resembles a Beretta 92, rather what looks like something from World War II. The same case with guns like the chain gun, the plasma gun, shotgun, the super shotgun, rocket launcher, even the BFG. But there is one new weapon added to the N64 game known as the Unmaker. And what's most unique about this weapon is that you can upgrade it by finding demon keys, found only in 3 of the 4 secret levels from the N64 original game. However, the modern re-releases for 8th generation consoles and PC would release a post-game chapter, just called the Lost Levels. One extra thing to note about the gameplay though is that unlike the classic 2 Dooms, there is more believability in the world with trigger events, like hitting a certain switch that lets you see some heavy machinery smash a hole into the floor, or how stepping onto something activates traps, or the ground below you just opens up, which is all really cool to see knowing this was based off a heavily modified original Doom engine. That being said, it has shown its age in one place. No, it's not the use of sprites, as that holds up better than you'd think, but rather it's due to the jump mechanics or lack thereof. In the original Doom, sometimes when there is a small enough gap, you can run over them, so long as you run enough from a long enough distance. And why they would design levels that way at the time I would understand, as when the engine first released, there was no way to add jumping until years later with various mods. Being that this started as a console exclusive though, and considering several other first-person shooters added jumping mechanics to better the platforming, this is where it starts to feel jarring if not annoying. Another thing of note is the sound design, which is recycled from the PlayStation 1 ports of the Doom games. Instead of carrying over the rocking music from Bobby Prince as well as the classic sound effects, composer Aubrey Hodges wanted to take a more creepy approach with an ambient background noise. Of course, what also changes is the sound effects for the demon cries and weapons. However, here's where I personally feel mixed. Some gun sounds actually sound better than the original, but I'm not a fan of the sound used for the pistol and the chain gun. It sounds like it just doesn't have a sort of punch from the original, even though they are both equal in power, but that's more of a slight nitpick on my end, as I overall feel Hodges' work suits Doom well, because let's be honest, if you literally went through hell, you'd probably be scared out of your mind. Visually, especially on the remaster where I played this first, the game looks terrific. Like I said in my Star Wars Dark Forces review, there is something about sprite graphics that just makes it hold up so well. Not to mention, the HD touches in the environments look great too. What I also like is that if it's too dark for you, you can mess around with the settings and it wouldn't mess with the environments too much. Overall, Doom 64 is a rather underrated first-person shooter in the otherwise legendary franchise that didn't initially sell too well because people were too hyped for what other shooters were pushing forward at the time. But it seems to now get the reputation it deserves thanks to its re-release now being able to reach a bigger audience. Really, my bias for one certain gun sound aside, only the forced platforming is a downer, as that can get pretty annoying after playing shooters with more refined mechanics, even from back then. But now with this re-release, no one has a reason to miss this one.